Have you ever wondered about how the universe was actually formed, or why do we see certain shapes and patterns in nature like snowflakes, spiral in a shell, or shape of the galaxy? Yes, we all know about the Big Bang theory that explains how the universe began from a single primordial atom existing at or from the beginning of life. But what about questions like where did the Big Bang theory came from, or what happened before the Big Bang? What came before all of that? By the 1920s, radiometric dating led to understanding that Earth is 4.55 billion years old. But why am I talking about all of this? Because I kind of found some answers to such questions in sacred geometry. Sacred geometry, also called architecture of the universe, reverse engineers our methods of scientific exploration by logical beginning of everything which is nothing. Before there was something, there was nothing, and the universe was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep. The first thing that came into existence was a point. A point occupies no space, it has no dimensions, and it is so small that it can't be measured, yet it encompasses everything within it. We can say this point is spirit. The first thing that spirit does is become conscious. It became aware and started moving, and that movement led to creation of different symbols like Vesica Piscis, Triquetra, seed of life, flower of life, and so on. So sacred geometry is considered an ancient science that explores and explains the energy patterns that create and unify all the things, and reveals the precise way that energy of creation organizes itself. So once spirit created a point in space, it was able to move to the edge of its awareness, and when spirit moved to the edge of its consciousness, it created another circle. So basically spirit expanded its awareness by creating another circle, and that's how the first sacred symbol called Vesica Piscis was created. So now we started the world of polarity or duality, because we now have two circles instead of just one. One circle being the male and the other being the female, creating an offspring in the middle called Vesica Piscis, that middle eye kinda shape. Vesica Piscis is a Latin word meaning fish bladder. It is basically called the womb of the universe. It also represents the doorway or portal that intersects the divine and material world. You can find this sacred symbol in old Jesus paintings too. Talking about science, it can also be seen in the first stage of mitosis, which is the process of cell division, wherein the chromosome replicates and gets equally distributed into two daughter cells. You can also find this figure in Venn diagrams, which are widely used in mathematics. This clearly proves that scientists and mathematicians are just trying to prove something that already exists. So stay tuned as we find out more about how the universe was actually created through this sacred geometry series. Now the spirit or source continued to expand its awareness, and the second movement created a third circle, and that's how the Triquetra symbol was created. This symbol is also called the Holy Trinity or Celtic knot or Trinity knot. Triquetra is a Latin word which means triangular or three-cornered. This symbol represents three elements: the Father, the Son, and Holy Spirit, three domains: earth, sea, and sky, three passages of time, past, present, and future, and so on. Celtic Triquetra first appeared in insular art produced in post-Roman era of Great Britain and Ireland around 7th century. You can find this symbol on Thor's hammer in the Avengers movie, as the cover motif on the Book of Shadow in American TV show Charmed, which represents three sisters working together as one. It is also used in Ireland in a Christian context to represent Holy Trinity. In Hinduism, you will find three Dev or three male gods named Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu, and three Devi or three female goddesses named Saraswati, Parvati, and Lakshmi. So these are not just coincidences, these are synchronicities that you find while studying sacred geometry. So stay tuned as we have just started, and get ready to dive deeper into how the universe was created. Now the spirit kept on expanding itself, and after its third, fourth, fifth, and sixth movements, we got a complete pattern called the seed of life. I'm sure you have heard that Sunday is God's day, as he took a leave after 6 days of creation. Well, this is actually the seed of life. So basically, seed of life has 7 circles that represent the 7 days of creation, or are 7 days of the week. This symbol is also called Genesis pattern. Seed of life also represents growth and infinity, as the source itself keeps on moving and creating more circles, and the pattern never stops, and numerous seeds of life create the flower of life that we will discuss later in this series. Talking about synchronicity, synchronicities, number 7 is a sacred number, and we have 7 days of the week, 7 chakras, 7 rainbow colors, 7 deadly sins, 7 musical scales, 7 hermetic principles, 7 sages in Greek tradition, and the list goes on and on. It can be seen in major religious churches, prayer books, and temples too. Talking about science and mathematics, we have the Fibonacci spiral that repeats throughout nature. You can see it in sunflowers, hurricanes, galaxies, seashells, and even coiled snakes. And the Fibonacci spiral number sequence that starts from 0 and 1 and increases with the sum of the previous two numbers. So the seed of life symbol says that the universe keeps on creating, moving, and growing infinitely. Stay tuned as we are moving forward in receiving answers to how the universe was created through sacred geometry. Since the universe keeps on moving and creating, the source moved and created 6 more circles to the seed of life, and that's how we got the egg of life symbol. In 3D form, we can see it has 8 spheres, 4 in the front and 4 in the back. So basically it is the second iteration of a process that creates the flower of life symbol that we will discuss in the next video. It also resembles to the 8th cell that is formed in mitosis. You remember how we can see Vesica Piscis in mitosis too, right? The 13 circles embedded depict oneness as they are intersecting each other. In many cultures, it has been used as a symbol of life, rebirth, and fertility. Talking about synchronicities, it is presumed to be the organizational framework for music. The space between the circles is similar to the gaps between full tones and semitones on the musical chromatic scale. You can also find it similar to embryonic development at cellular level in humans, where meiosis takes place, dividing it into 2 cells, then 4, and later to 8 cells. I'm sure you are enjoying this series of finding out how the universe was created. Stay tuned as there's lots more to this sacred geometry symbols. After completing 2 cycles of 6 circles each, the spirit continued to expand and moved and created 6 more circles. So now we have a total of 19 circles, and that's how we got the flower of life symbol. The flower of life is the most widely seen and used sacred symbol, and you can see it all around the world, like in a Jewish painting in Israel that has a Hebrew inscription around the circle of flower of life. The floor of the famous Golden Temple in Amritsar in India also has the symbol carved. A carved ivory tusk in Nimrud in Iraq from 800 to 700 BC, the temple of Osiris in Egypt, and the Roman temple ruins in Cordoba in Spain. You can find numerous examples like this. Flower of life is said to be the actual blueprint of the universe and the basic design of every atomic and molecular structure, life form. In fact, Leonardo da Vinci also incorporated sacred shapes into compositions of his artworks. So now you can see how everything in nature has a deeper meaning, and everything came from something called the source or the spirit. So stay tuned as we dive deep into the architecture of the universe through sacred geometry symbols. Since the spirit or the source keeps on moving and expanding, it created another round of 18 circles and then a round of 24 circles. Due to this, we now have 60 circles interlocked apart from the source circle in the middle. This symbol hence formed is called the fruit of life, which is basically the outcome of the flower of life. So now you can see how everything is connecting from Vesica Piscis, Triquetra to seed of life, egg of life, flower of life, and now the fruit of life symbols. If you notice the pattern, you will find multiples of 6 everywhere. So we added 6 more circles in the source circle to create the seed of life. Then we added 6 more circles. It becomes a total of 13 circles, giving us the egg of life. Then add 6 more circles. It becomes a total of 19 circles, giving us the flower of life. And then add 18 circles, which is 3 times of 6. It becomes 37 circles. And then add 24 circles, which is 4 times 6. It becomes a total of 61 circles, giving us the fruit of life. Basically, after the 7 days of creation, the pattern keeps on increasing in multiples of 6. Fruit of life is a feminine symbol, as the 13 spheres represent females' movements or elements of creation. In fact, it inspired the creation of calendars and clocks, which brought order in our everyday life. So you can see how the universe is coming into form as we move forward in this series. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into architecture of the universe through sacred geometry. So in all the past videos we saw creation of the universe, but we could not find answers to creation of human body till now. Well, the tree of life symbol gives explanation of human body. You know, questions like why do we have 2 hands, 2 legs, 2 eyes but 1 nose? So the tree of life symbol is constructed using the seed of life as foundation. The lines connecting the midpoints of the circles of seed of life represent the stems or branches of trees, while the smaller circles created represent the roots from which the branches arise, and the middle pillar represents the trunk of the tree. So basically the tree of life represents creation of human body, how each part is significant and plays a role in overall construction of the human body. It also represents balance and duality, as the two pillars represent masculine and feminine energy respectively, and the circles represent the feminine energy while all the lines represent the masculine energy, just like we have both the energies in us, and it's all about balancing both the energies. According to an ancient Hebrew description based on Sephiroth, the 10 spheres represent 10 globes or planets, while the 22 lines are 22 pathways that interconnect these 10 globes, and the 3 pillars from left to right are called Pillar of Serenity, Pillar of Balance, and Pillar of Mercy. Purpose of Tree of Life is to reveal divinity and knowledge of the human soul so that our souls can ascend or rise. Stay tuned as we dive deeper into finding answers to how the universe was created through sacred geometry. The grid of life is another symbol made using seed of life as foundation. It is also called a 64-star tetrahedron as it is made up of 64 pyramid shapes. It is the masculine equivalent of the flower of life symbol that we discussed earlier in this series. The grid of life symbolizes linking up one's individual path in harmony with our soul family, as it amplifies each individual's energy to accomplish and manifest one's goals. If you look closely, you can find 4 male-female pairs of star tetrahedrons, basically 4 upward triangles representing male and 4 downward triangles representing female energies. Talking about scientific evidence, it was a perfect way to conceptualize space as stated by Richard Buckminster Fuller, who referred to it as an isotropic vector matrix which is same in all directions, and this concept is being used in geodesic domes, which are aerodynamic structures taking at least 30% less energy to heat. Talking about the number 64, you can find it almost everywhere, like 64 codons in human DNA, 64 cells before the cells start to bifurcate after conception, fundamental number in computer memory, and bits of code encoded in the tetragrammation within Hebrew Bible, 64 number of generations from Adam to Jesus, 64 squares in chess and checkerboard, 64 tantras in Hinduism, and the list can go on and on. So with this, I wrap up the first set of sacred geometry symbol series, and I'm sure you'll be finding answers to how the universe was created. There are more than 600 symbols in sacred geometry, and I have studied just 8 of them. So wish me luck in the comment section so that I can study and share more with you. Bye.